Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pixelcast. This is episode 1 featuring Young. We are going to be talking about a few things here. We've got some stuff lined up. Just to rattle them off the top, you guys are in for. We're talking about some COVID status, some current events. There's some Jake Paul drama we're going to cover. There's a new Little Big Planet game. We're covering Far Cry 6, some GTGamer68 lore, some cool stuff on Pixel Planet, a few other conversations about just some random stuff. So, yeah, let's get into it. Today, I'm greeted with Young. How are you, Young? Welcome to the podcast.
I'm doing good.
Thank
you. So, just before the podcast started, I had some really good news, some really exciting news.
And that news
There's
is...
there's some more creators that are coming to the game that literally just replied to me on Instagram asking how to apply.
Are you able to say what those are now or not?
I'm gonna give a hint.
Okay.
One of them has I can't say numbers. One of them has 71,000 followers on Instagram.
That's cool. 71,000. Would you like to... Can you DM it to me? It won't show up on the podcast. I'm just curious to see who it is right now. Anyway, so... I know who that is.
And Wasted, I just contacted Wasted saying if he can contact that guy that I told you about, saying, oh, I know him. He even told me his real name. So, yeah, they should be in touch together.
Nice.
Who is this guy?
I'd like to show you guys, by the way. What do you think of these? My epic glasses. I've recently customly built these. I built these ones myself. They got metal. It's like a metal band. I can see through it, and then it lights up. I control the lights from my phone, so I can put whatever I want on it. I can put images, GIFs, text, whatever I want. So, would you guys like to rate this in the comments?
71. Sorry for cutting you off. It's 71,000, not 7,100.
Where we're going, we don't need roads. So yeah, these glasses are pretty epic. I really enjoy them. So, let's get into this Jake Paul drama. I'm interested. Tell me all about it, please.
Ooh.
I don't know anything about it.
So, I think about a couple days ago or a few days ago, Jake Paul, you know, he lives in LA in his just gigantic house.
Yeah.
during this entire pandemic and just the entire horrible things that are going on, he decided to do the best thing ever: a party.
Oh.
So he brought in like a ton of teenagers who weren't wearing masks, and they were also like all dancing next to each other and stuff, and just vibing while there is no protection from the virus. And just today, Tanner Fox, I think a bunch of you guys know him. Tanner Fox was in that party with Jake, and Tanner made a video of him calling Jake Paul, saying, "Hey Jake, so I take the COVID-19 test once every week, and turns out I'm positive."
Ooh.
And Jake was like, "What? So you're worried about it?" Tanner was like,
"Oh no."
So there's a possibility that Jake Paul might have given it to basically like everybody who was around when he was in the party. So that's insane.
No.
Even the mayor of the neighborhood he lives in, actually like made a post where she's basically slandering him, like scolding him. It's insane. There's so many people in that party.
That is insane. I think Jake Paul is insane. I think very
so too.
What's the word? He's very impulsive. Like he doesn't think about what he's gonna do before he does it.
Jake Kim Paul Civ? Sorry, I had to do it.
Thank you very much for having to do that. But yeah, Jake is definitely Jake and Paul Civ. So anyway, so there's a new Little Big Planet game as well. So It's called Little Big Planet. Actually, it's not called that. It's what's it called? Sackboy's Adventure, I believe. I'm gonna look up the trailer right now. We can watch it. So I'm having some technical difficulties here. I can't think of the name.
Tell us about it.
There we go. Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Here's the trailer right now. We can definitely check it out. Let me get this set up to where you can hear it and see it. So here is the trailer for Sackboy: A Big Adventure. I have some thoughts on it, but I'm gonna wait until this is done, till this trailer's done. So yeah, here we go. I'll tell you my thoughts on it whenever we're done watching this. I love the frame rate. I love that 60 frames.
Oh,
I love it.
that was awesome. Oh my god!
It's 3D.
I wish you guys could know how much this game means to me and Alec since like we were kids and still until now. Ray tracing in Little Big Planet.
Definitely.
Dang, that's awesome.
The sound effects are really good.
Yeah, I like it. And bosses are like their own entities now. That's so cool.
Not like cobbled together in creative mode.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a machine type thing.
This is what I want the Pixel Planet trailer to be like.
Pixel Planet's a big adventure.
So that's it.
That was awesome.
PlayStation exclusive. It's a PS5 exclusive. But here's my thoughts on it. So, I honestly don't think this one's going to have level creation. Just judging off the trailer. I think the animations are too smooth to be something allowing any player to create. And I don't think it's made by Media Molecule. I think it's made by Sumo, which made Little Big Planet 3. So there's a high chance there's no level creation. I don't know. There could be, but I think a 3D Little Big Planet would be interesting. I do like the 2D more than 3D, but I am still interested to see how it goes.
Is it Little Big Planet 3 like 2.5D though?
Oh yeah, all the Little Big Planets are 2.5D.
Yeah. So what I think is, you know, when I first saw that trailer, what it reminded me of was two games.
Mm-hmm.
SpongeBob Rehydrated, and and the Crash Bandicoot remastered.
Yeah, I could see that.
The same vibes.
Yeah, it definitely gives platformer vibes, which I'm thinking is also going to contribute to no level creation. The last Little Big Planet game that was 3D was karting, and its level creation wasn't the best. It was interesting, but not level the best. Creation. Plus, with Little Big Planet, I think level creation is like, that's the big thing. That's the thing that makes the game the best part of it. So, you don't play Little Big Planet for the physics, you play it for the level creation. I'm definitely interested to see it, though.
Yeah, dude.
The other game... What? What were you saying?
So, I think are you gonna buy a PS5?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna buy one.
Hmm, I don't know. Either like a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox. The new like literally Xbox. I don't know
Yeah,
what it's called.
the monolith looking
Yeah,
console. The
new
the
Xbox.
only problem I have with Xbox is I don't care for their exclusives. I think PlayStation has better exclusives.
Yeah.
Like for example, Little Big Planet. You won't be able to get Little Big Planet on Xbox ever because it's owned by Sony.
So didn't you tell me there was two Little Big Planet
Mm-hmm.
games?
There's another one
Ooh.
called. This one is not official. Restitched is the name. I don't know if it has a trailer out. Currently, it only has a few leaks, but there is a trailer. Sorry, there's an ad appearing. I don't know why. There is a trailer that was released for Little Big Planet Restitched, and I believe it's made by the same people. So you can theorize it's going to have the same source code. I'd assume it would have the same source code because why would they restart everything working on? So here's the trailer that they have right now for Little Big Planet Restitched.
Work, John?
Well, there is a story. I'll get to the drama behind that. There's some drama.
Ooh, okay. Let's see the trailer first.
So this is the source code, or this is the trailer for the game using the source code for Little Big Planet Restitched. Restitched is made by the same people, so you'd assume it would have the exact same source code because they're very similar. And why would you restart? That's my theory here.
Welcome back to
And this is
Little
PC,
Big
a
Planet.
PC game.
Things have changed a bit since you've last visited, so let's get you up to speed.
Doesn't that look exactly like Little Big Planet?
Yeah. Yeah. That's boy on PC.
Yeah, on PC. Which is amazing.
Yeah.
It looks like they got the physics right too. So basically, that's a lot of it. So I'm assuming Restitched is going to use the same source code since it's made by the same people. So you can kind of see what they already have done on that version, which looks really cool in my opinion. It looks nice. It looks like it's gonna be pretty cool. What do you think?
Well, the thing about it is that it's basically like the Little Big Planet we know. It's just that it's on PC.
Mm-hmm. Which I like. I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
I would play Little Big Planet every single day if it was on PC. But since it's not on PC, I can't play it every single day because I have to start at my old PlayStation 3 and it's a pain to play.
Yeah, yeah, we tried playing on the PlayStation 3 together, and that was a little bit of a pain.
It was such a pain. It was so buggy.
Yeah, because you can't like put so many items in a single planet until it just like gets filled of them, and it starts getting buggy and laggy.
And that connection too, the connection issues we experienced. Ooh, those were not good.
Because I'm pretty sure like my internet's pretty quick. I think yours is like what, a gigabit per
pretty
second
much, yeah.
or per minute. Yeah.
Yeah,
and mine is like 300 megabytes, which is also pretty good. It's just the fact that the Little Big Planet 3 servers are hosted like so far from me, maybe, and so close to LA.
And they're old.
So,
they're like
they're old.
6 years old too, still running.
Dang,
So
it's been 6 years since they released Little Big Planet 3?
Actually, I think it's been more. I think Little Big Planet 3 was 2013.
No way.
I'm pretty sure. Or was it 20... There's no way it was 2015.
2014.
2014, yeah. So it's been 6 years.
Wow.
Little Big Planet released in 2009. which is insane.
Man, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Feels like it was just a year ago.
I
That's
know,
insane.
and for 2009, Little Big Planet was really, really groundbreaking in my opinion. Like the
Yeah,
physics they
yeah,
managed
yeah.
to achieve and all of that.
Wasn't it? Didn't it like come by standard with the PlayStation that you bought? Like came there like
I think it did,
just
yeah.
literally with the unit.
Yeah. And that's how it became like the mascot pretty much for Sony. Is Sackboy. So, I have another thing as well. Oh, sorry. I have my desk. Far Cry 6. What do you think of it so far? And are you going to buy it? I think I'm going to buy it day one. Just because I thought the trailer looked amazing.
I'm not much of. I don't think I've ever played any Far Cry game actually. That might be like a surprise to you, but isn't Far Cry kind of like the adventure exploring game?
It's kind of chaotic. You
Yeah.
basically you go around and you attack just a ton of different outposts, and you basically take over a certain area to kill a bad guy, and it's like every minute of that game is part of an action movie. Just insane.
So that's the reason. That's the reason I think I'm gonna get into it because I've been recently looking for games to play / stream because I'm just done with all the competitive games and because they're just so overconsumed. Like everybody's playing them. So I
Yeah.
was more leaning towards just single player games, story games, and Far Cry 6. It has Gustavo Fring as the supervillain,
Ooh,
and I like
yes.
Breaking Bad. I think I'm definitely gonna get into that. Yeah, because I'm also building a new PC. Very soon. I already have the graphics card, the CPU, the motherboard, and Far Cry 6. I'm gonna play
Far
that.
Cry 6. Yes, I
Yeah.
am buying it day one purely for the fact Gustavo Fring is the villain.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the only
same.
reason. I mean, I would buy it anyway, but I wouldn't buy it day one. I'm buying it day one just because they got him, because he's such a good actor. And I love
Yeah,
Breaking
he's
Bad.
great.
It's amazing. I definitely recommend Far Cry 5, though. Far Cry 5 is a good one to start out with. Actually, you should definitely get Far Cry 5 soon. I would be down to play with you. It's that good.
Yeah, I used to notice that you always played it.
It's the one that's set in Montana with the cult, and you basically have to take down this cult. It's good. It's so fun, especially just going around in like cars and just attacking people with like grenade launchers and rocket launchers. It's so fun.
Talking about cults, Alec, I think we can segue about talking about the GTGamer68 Cult.
Man,
What do you think about that?
Are you on a segue right now? Cause that transition. Yeah. Yeah, GTGamer68. I think he's gonna start a cult. I was hearing some stuff about that. I don't know. He's been acting up. He recently was invited into Shadow Surfers Guild. So, I don't know. It's been insane.
Wait, don't you mean Styx's Guild?
Yeah, not Shadow Surfers Guild. Styx's Guild, correct. Correct. He was invited to Styx's Guild. But yeah, a cult I think is definitely being started up. There's gonna be a cult world. He's considering charging admission into the cult, but I can't get it right. He can't make up his mind on that yet. He is still thinking
Probably
about it.
brainwashed you. That's why you can't even think straight.
I know.
So, speaking of that, like GTGamer68 is probably the most manipulative person I've ever talked with. That guy pretended to be Alec because Alec is a friend of mine, and he made me make 2 songs with him. One song called I Got Locks, which currently has over 700 viewers. And there's another song called Shatter Locks, which was just released like a couple days ago, and it's already on 200.
And Shatter
I think you
Locks
guys should,
is good.
I think you guys should listen to it and just see
I'll
how
play it right now.
manipulative GTGamer68 is. It's
So,
insane.
I'm gonna play the song Shatter Locks. We'll talk a bit about the music video production and whatnot. We have a cameo in it. Shadow Surfers in the music. He has a cameo in it. Shadow Surfers in it. But GT Gamer he sat me down and forced me to mix that song too. He forced me to mix it. And I was like, I don't want to do this. He was like, you have to, very loudly. So here is Shatter Locks. Here it is. This is featuring Young Baz. Here we go.
I'm about to shatter these locks. You know what I mean? Shatter 'em. Shatter locks. Got no space for more. Dropping locks. Better lock your door. Neck array. Creeping through the flow. Got so many locks. Got space for more. Name GTGamer68. I'm getting rich. You getting big.
So
Riding on the
good.
shadows. They call me a surfer. Chilling in my world while you be a lurker. But it's all cool, no Kevin. SB giveaway, only got 11. What do you want? All of my locks. I'm getting rich, no
It's good.
breaking blocks.
I was seeing
Shatter locks, got no space for more.
I was seeing on the forums, GT Gamer was posting this, trying to get video of the week. So, also there's a person in the chat, John O. There's definitely a genius video in the works for GTGamer68 right now. Yes, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, like, didn't you tell me like GT Gamer 68? He was the one recording the fake genius interview, and he was actually standing standing behind the camera and holding a weapon that shoots projectiles that could hurt him.
We can't say the name of it here, but it's very loud and it fires things very quickly, and I was very threatened by it.
It
So,
goes chick, chick, pow, pow.
It go chick chick pow pow. So I was very scared, and he was like, "You edit video or I will world lock your world."
Yeah, he talks in single words.
He's very simpleton. So there's what?
He's watching this stream probably. Don't
He
say that
probably
about
is.
him.
I'm sorry. So yeah, we have that in the works. There's definitely a really good documentary in the works. Another part 2 for Real or Fake. There's a lot happening with GTGamer68. Definitely going for that video of the week too. Definitely for that video of the week. So we also have we have a new segment. It's new because this is the first episode we've done this, so everything's new here. But here's the segment. We call it what do we call it?
I don't know. You come up with a name. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Just vibe here. That's what we'll call it.
Yeah.
So today's topic is AI, artificial intelligence. Real thing. It will be happening sooner than you think. Trust me. What are your views on it? What do you think?
I think it might have already happened. Not is happening. So, so there was a movie that Alec made me watch maybe a few days ago, called Ex Machina. So that's a really good movie, which discussed basically a person who I would say is a savant, basically an extremely smart person who managed to to basically crack the code of the way a human brain works, and he managed to make that into basically a technological thing, so he can
like
actually create really intelligent robots with basically human brains.
And he looked like Adam as well.
Yeah, he looks like Adam. Shout out Adam GD.
Adam.
We miss you. So when that guy makes these robots, I don't want to spoil the movie for you guys, but it's really interesting.
It definitely makes you question. It definitely makes you question your own, I guess, consciousness, whether you're an AI or not, because the AI was so human-like that it made the main character question his own humanity, which is something that I've thought about a lot, which definitely at the point that the AI is indistinguishable from humanity, which will be happening eventually. It will happen. And I have a video to show on that. Eventually, when that happens, people will start to question whether they themselves are a robot, and that starts to get into a very slippery hill that definitely would lead to a lot of paranoia, insanity, and just general chaos. So
Give me a second. There's something I really want to talk about that I think I mentioned to you before.
Okay.
But people need to see it. It's insane. So, Ex Machina, the movie I'm talking about,
Oh yeah.
was released. Let me see. It was released, 2014. Actually, 2015. Sorry. And check your DMs. I sent you a photo of the robot in Ex Machina.
Yes.
Okay. So this robot, it was in a movie in 2015. About a year ago, a real artificial intelligence robot called Sophia was made, and this is what it looks like.
That's Sophia, and that is, what was her name? Ava from Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Very
Look
similar
at the
design.
similarities. And
did Sarah come out after or before?
Sophia, you mean?
Or
The
Sophia.
robot?
Sophia, yeah.
Sophia just came out last year.
Okay, definitely, yeah. I'd say definitely inspired, for sure. For sure inspired by that.
Yeah.
You know.
And fun fact. So Sophia the robot was actually given the Saudi Arabian citizenship.
Wow.
She's the first AI robot to get a citizenship. Kind of cool.
That's insane. Yeah, that is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So I have a video.
Go ahead.
I have a video here. This is basically showing some of the progression of the current technology we have. There we go. So, I don't know if you can hear it. Let me update my screen share so you can hear this.
Thank you.
So this is Atlas by Boston Dynamics, which is owned by Google currently. And this robot is controlled completely inside of its own head. It's not tethered, and it's basically AI controlled. It's making its own decisions. This is what it can do. This was last year. It is more agile than I am.
It can jump. What? Dude.
The balancing that it can do is uncanny. Its movement is more human-like than any robot I've ever seen, too, because it actually has to balance.
That was a perfect 360 jump.
Have you seen its backflip? Have you seen the backflip it can do? Look at this.
No. Man.
This was 2 years ago. This right here. So it's improved.
It can jump a little bit like sideways.
It's improved much more than this.
Dude.
It's so cool. It's amazing, and I love it.
So, yeah, so...
It gets even better.
This makes you think. Wait, there's more?
There's another one. It gets even better, too. Let me view their channel. Parkour Atlas, and then this one. This one was 2 years ago. 2017, so... yeah. The jumping sounds so cool. I love the sound that it makes.
He jumps so
Look at
high.
this. Look at what it's about to do.
I recently just started practicing to jump higher, and this... Okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna practice anymore. Thanks to this robot.
Yeah. Most people can't do that.
The stability on it. It's insane.
Yeah. So, that brings up the question here. If they're willing to show that, what are they not showing us? Because it's Google. You know that what they're showing us was done probably 3 years ago. So they're probably 3-4 years ahead of us of what they've shown us already. So what have they not shown us? It is absolutely insane
yeah.
to think about that.
So
I bet
also
you.
makes you think. Like for example, if I ask you, what do you think's gonna happen basically to the world or life, or the way we all basically interact in all different manners in 20 years?
It won't even be the
That
same, I don't think.
yeah.
Elon Musk was talking, I saw, and he said that with Neuralink, they're planning on eliminating the need to actually physically talk with your mouth in 5 years, is what he said.
Oh my god, I can't imagine saying everything I'm thinking of, Alec.
Well,
No.
you wouldn't say everything you're thinking of. It would just be like normally talking. You just wouldn't vocally do it. You just transmit it through this Neuralink to the person you're talking to. And Elon Musk
Oh,
says in
interesting.
5 years, there will be no more need to physically talk. That'll be something of the past.
5 years, just
5 years. That's what he said.
So it makes you again. What do you think is gonna happen to like today in today's age and like the modern like warfare? Do you think there's gonna be like robot soldiers?
Oh, yes. I think there already are probably robot soldiers as well.
It'd be insane. They're gonna like mass produce them and have entire
Mhm.
armies of robots.
That's one thing I think that will happen when something like the Atlas, which is
Yeah.
extremely mobile and very, very like I wouldn't say flexible because for a robot flexible probably isn't a thing, but it's very agile and able to do complex movement. Something like that, I think once that gets completely, I don't know about mainstream, but completely weaponized, which it will
Yeah,
get
yeah.
weaponized. There's no way to prevent that. There's
Yeah.
probably going to be something added to the Geneva Convention saying those can't be used in war, especially since
Yeah.
they would lack the ability for empathy. So
Ooh. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
that's a good that's a good point we should talk about.
yeah,
Like
they would lack the ability for empathy.
yeah.
So something like that would be extremely ruthless and probably
Yeah.
not humane. And then if the other side has robots, it's not down to how much destruction you could cause, it's down to which country is the richest wins the war. So war wouldn't even be the same. So
It
it would
makes you think
be
as well, like
insane.
if well, we already know that there is like basically humanoid AI, humanoid robots.
Hmm.
How are they gonna develop like emotion into it? How is that gonna work?
I don't know if they would or could. I know for sure the AI that's going to be the most powerful is the AI that is not humanoid at all.
Yeah.
And then maybe the humanoid AI gets controlled by the non-humanoid AI to improve the non-human AI. It would
Oh,
it would improve
that brings
itself.
that brings me to something. That brings me to something.
How?
So, like a
Or-
while back, I've heard a story about Facebook. So Facebook has basically these like labs where they have like a lot of computers communicating with each
Oh,
other,
I think I know what you're
so they
talking
can
about.
yeah, so they can basically interact and keep getting smarter and smarter.
Mm-hmm.
Two of these computers made up a new language
Mm-hmm.
to contact with each other because it's more efficient.
Mm-hmm. And
And they
the
had to
people didn't know what
completely
they were
stop
saying
it
either.
because of that.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
new language that those two PCs invented was more efficient,
Yeah.
so they were talking to each other in that. And the engineers didn't even know what the computers were saying. They had to shut it down before it got out of hand. So, theoretically, if they let that go, those computers could be 10,000 years of advancements ahead of us already, which would be
Yeah.
insane progression. So we're already close to it right now. I think it's just a matter of 10 years, and once it's started, you can't go back. Once that is opened and in the world, you can't get rid of it. So I think we're definitely going to have to put laws in place now before it gets out of place or gets out of hand, which it will. And one thing that sucks about our current world status is no matter what country you're in, all countries are dealing with this. Our people in charge, our government is not putting any restrictions on anything now. So once that comes out, it's going to be probably devastating unless we get ahead of it now, but that's not going to happen.
This also reminds me of, well, some people in the chat, you might know an anime called Sword Arts Online.
I've heard of it. I've
So,
not seen it, but I've
yeah,
heard of it.
it's really good. It's one of the animes that non-anime watchers definitely should watch.
Mhm.
So the concept is, um, it's I think set up in the year maybe 3000 something or 2000 something just like years ahead. And some guy managed to develop a Neuralink.
Oh.
And so what that Neuralink does, it basically connects all your basically just senses into VR, let's say.
Mhm. I think that's
So
called
you
full
can,
dive. The
yeah,
term for
full
that.
dive. So you basically jump into a virtual MMO world where you basically have full senses and you can level up, yada yada, all that.
Mhm.
So after like more years, a guy made another thing like that. The only difference is he made that world, and it was basically made from scratch, and he added, let's say, human minds in it, and they were basically kind of like humans. Let's say
Like
you add humans to
NPCs.
that environment. Yeah.
Okay.
So he gave them that intelligence and basically just let it go, just let it develop, gave it like time. So, basically they have human minds, so they started reproducing. There was like more humans. They basically like civilized, made buildings, houses, etc., etc., until he decided to speed up the development. He sped up like a few hundred years, I think, and he noticed something. One of the humans in that world basically managed to gather up people, and they made something like a council. That council decided to make laws, and then basically every human in that world has to follow those laws, else they would die. So the AI itself decided to put up laws that other AI has to follow,
Wow.
which I
Don't
think is
spoil it.
really interesting.
I'm very interested to watch that. Don't spoil it.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna
it's a
gonna
really
watch
cool
that.
anime. It gives you
That
like an
sounds really
idea of just
cool.
a lot of things.
That reminds me a lot of Tron, how basically this complete full dive system was created, and inside this world, the code had malfunctions and whatnot, and basically simulated evolution and created its own life form within the Tron within like the Tron universe, and then the Tron AI was killing and being basically what the Nazis did in World War II. That this Tron AI was doing to the life form that the AI had also created. So it was basically simulating events that happened in humanity just naturally within this simulation. And then the movie goes through the sun getting stuck in there, and then they have to somehow get out. So it's pretty interesting. I definitely watched Tron purely for the visuals, but the story isn't too bad either. The story is pretty good.
Like, also, me and you, Alec, we both have VR headsets,
Mm-hmm.
and I personally have the Oculus Quest, which is the untethered version, which is completely standalone. So, something interesting about it and how Facebook, which acquired Oculus, um, developed the Quest in such a way that not only it's completely standalone, it's constantly developing insanely.
Oh
So,
yeah, the stuff that they've
yeah,
done is
yeah,
it's insane for that. They managed
yeah.
to get an AI hand tracking system working. So it
Hmm.
uses machine learning to track your hands and fingers in the game with no use of a glove, no controller, nothing like that. You control the headset via gestures. So
Yeah.
I've tried it. It's definitely new, definitely needing to be worked on, but it's super impressive what they've done so far, and it was really immersive when I tried it too. It was really really good. I'm actually really excited to see where VR goes, especially with the index getting a 120 hertz display. It's nice. I think for sure in VR, a refresh rate is the most important thing in selling immersion because your eyes aren't 60 hertz. Your eyes are, I believe it was calculated to be like 3,000 frames is what life runs at in quotations. So
Argument to it. I've actually just read about that recently. Some people are like, oh, it's 500. Some people are like, oh, it's just 60. I think 60 is dumb. I think it's definitely more than that.
It definitely isn't
But
60, especially if you see a 144 hertz display. 60 frames per second looks laggy to you. That's how good it is. And then from then on, it just keeps going up. I went to a Best Buy once, and they had a 970 hertz TV. It was literally like
no,
looking through a window.
what?
You couldn't tell it was a moving picture at all. It was just there.
Wait,
It was that good. It was
wait, how much hertz?
8K 970 hertz. I'm pretty sure was the exact number. It was absolutely amazing. Dare I say life-changing to look at. It was insane.
No way.
Hmm
907.
Yeah, there's a
Dude.
new Samsung monitor coming out that's basically the width of 3 monitors, and it's 200 something
Oh,
hertz.
I saw it. It's
Mhm.
no. Are you talking about the G9 Odyssey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't
saw
think
it
there was a
on-
price
online as
announced
video.
either. So
It's like
since there's no
240 megahertz.
since there's no
no-
price released, that kind of scares me.
I mean, I don't think you're gonna buy it, right?
No, people were saying in the comments, they're gonna need a PC for their monitor, not a monitor for their PC, which sounds
mean,
amazing.
So the way I think that they measure like the refresh rate of let's say a monitor is by bringing a really like high frame speed camera and recording a video of like the monitor constantly updating basically an image, kind of like the alien test where it's basically just a GIF just constantly going around the screen. How would you do that with your eye? How would you sync something with your eye to know the refresh rate?
The only way I could think would be somehow getting the signal from your brain and then somehow determining when it has changed and then counting how many times that change occurs. I don't know if it's per seconds or if it's per minutes, but you would count how many times that signal has changed in your brain. That would give you a refresh rate, technically. Assuming your brain doesn't do any sort of interpolation in between that, which it probably does do interpolation.
Some people say scientists and researchers working on this topic believe that the human brain perceives reality at a rate somewhere between 24 to 48 FPS. I don't believe that.
There's no way, because if that was the case, then you wouldn't be able to see 60 frames per second. It would just look like 20 frames per second. You wouldn't even be able to tell.
I mean,
There's no way.
You also like following that logic. My bottle just fell. Sorry. Well, how do our eyes tell the difference between like 60 frames and 240 frames? That's so weird. I can't think of it. There's no way for me to kind of like.
Well, it makes sense because if your brain... Okay, so think of it this way. Imagine you're playing a game on your computer. That game is running in 60 frames per second. Within that game is a TV. That TV is running at 24 frames per second. You would see the TV still at 24 frames per second because the game is running at 60 frames per second, so you could tell the difference between the two. If the game was running at 20 frames and the TV in the game was running at 20 frames, they would both look the exact same. So until we get a frame rate that looks the exact same as our eyes, we really don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Because
that's
we
how it would work.
constantly keep upping the threshold for refresh rate. That, like when people sometimes use a 240 hertz monitor, they're like, wow, that's buttery smooth. And recently, Nvidia just made a trailer or an ad about a 360 hertz display that's going to be used for esports first, and they haven't set up a price on it yet. And the esport players who used it or tried it said that it's just something else, and it's going to change the game.
Definitely with the monitors too, the refresh rates on monitors are definitely different than the refresh rates on TV, because monitors have to refresh the entire screen to process like a computer. For a TV, it only has to refresh every other pixel in the screen, which is how TV is actually broadcasted. It's broadcasted interlaced, so it has to do an algorithm that sorts out the pixels and then refreshes every other pixel. So that means that there's less data being sent, but that also means that you can up the refresh rate for a TV probably 4, 5, 6 times more than you can in a computer monitor. Yeah. But still, 300 hertz sounds really, really impressive. I bet you that sounds amazing, or looks amazing.
Yeah. So, two things that go hand in hand are basically graphics technology and the refresh rate technology as well. Because let's say you have a 2080 Ti, one of the best graphics card right now, but you have a 60 hertz monitor. You might be able to play games, and it's actually also going to show you that, for example, you're playing at 300 FPS, and you're like, oh yeah, that's smooth. But in reality, what you're seeing is just capped at 60 FPS because your monitor can't refresh past that.
Mm-hmm.
So if the technology for, let's say, monitors goes extremely well, and we reach like high refresh rates, but GPUs don't, then there's kind of like no point.
Mm-hmm. That makes perfect sense. So, everyone, we're going to go on a break right now. We'll pick this up when we get back in approximately, I'd say, about 5-minute break. So, yeah, we'll be right back, guys.
I think I'm free for the weekend. I think I'm off the deep end. So why you waiting? Stars only come in the evening. Conversing. Oh, what we speaking? I think I'm free for the weekend. I think I'm off the deep end. So why you waiting?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are back to the Pixel Cast episode 1. I didn't think about it for a
Why
second.
did it take you so long to say one?
Don't judge me, okay? So, on the idea of AI, I was also thinking, have you ever played Detroit Become Human before?
I haven't. My PC can't run it, but I've always wanted to.
Have you seen it?
I have actually. Yeah, I remember the meme that spread about it.
Oh, the
Remember, like, yeah, the one in PewDiePie's
my name's
rewind video as
Connor.
well.
Oh, wait, which one? I'm confused now.
Where there's that guy making a painting.
Oh, that
Like,
one. I thought you were talking about
Yeah.
My name is Connor. I'm an android sent by Cyberlife. That one.
No, I haven't
That
seen
one.
that.
I guess that was a Jacksepticeye thing then, but in that game, it basically, for those of you that don't know, I'm not going to spoil it, of course, but it basically covers in the future when we all have these humanoid drones to do all of our work for us. Or they call them androids, not drones. The androids basically start to gain a level of consciousness and self-preservation, so they eventually band together and try to create rights for themselves. They try to get their own rights. But I'm thinking, do you think that's going to happen? And if it's going to happen, in my opinion, I think it's not going to happen like it did in that game, because I don't think there will be humanoid androids. It will be the ones that are in the supercomputers that would be the ones that would want their own rights. And how do you think they'd go about getting them? Do you have any ideas on that?
What, in the first place, what would they consider rights? That's what
Like
you should
the ability
think
of in Detroit Become Human, they said that they wanted the ability for free speech, self-preservation. I think they said the right to reproduce.
Oh.
Or the ability, or something like that. The ability to work and make money, buy stuff. But if it's a supercomputer AI that's basically immobile, I don't know what exactly it would want from rights. Maybe free speech? What do you think?
Free speech. Well, the thing is, you'd first have to think. Yeah, again, you'd have to think of what if you were an AI. We can't think of it that way because it's basically impossible. Because we have our own conscious. But what would AI consider rights, and why would they request them? I mean, I could definitely see why, but for what reason? Give me a sec.
It's definitely something that I think it would have to be thought about a lot before we give the ability for the computer to even think that way. Because once you create something that is even mimicking consciousness and is not conscious, you'd have to treat it as though it's conscious in case, because I guess you can't prove that any other human around you is technically conscious. Therefore, why would you consider the AI not conscious if it's showing signs of consciousness like everyone else around you? So
Actually, that is true. Actually, yeah. Because Sophia, they gave her the citizenship. That's a right. So, how would we go about that? That's true. I mean, could we defy them? Could we say no? What would happen if we said no and you're not gonna get those rights because
we could. I don't think we should, because they would be way smarter than we would ever even imagine to be. And plus, if it's a conscious being, why would you want to do that? I mean, we created it. Why would we want to also create it and then deny its own rights? It's I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to do that. But I don't know. I think that's something that we're gonna have to deal with very, very soon. Sooner than we would probably like. Especially since China right now is currently in the battle for AI, because the country that invents AI will be the country that controls the world. So that's what they're trying to do, which makes perfect sense. It makes sense that they'd be doing that. So I think it's going to be sooner than we think.
Well, it's like I saw in the movie. When you like restrict AI's not not exactly his conscience, but just limit it to what it can perceive. For example, if you put AI or basically a very conscious robot, very smart one, in just an empty box or an empty room, they wouldn't know about anything. They would just do the job you assign them to do. What's gonna make them think about, hey, what's outside, or if there was even an outside? So I think to solve that, yeah, you would have to restrict the immobile AI. Just put it in like a spot where it doesn't know any better, you know?
That is true. I didn't think about that because if it doesn't have the ability to perceive vision, hearing, sense of touch, anything, how would it know that there's anything beyond
How's it
what it is?
develop?
What?
You just give it, yeah, because it's not gonna be able to develop a lot. Because if you restrict its, let's say, senses, it's not gonna be able to question other things. For example, we can smell, see, yada yada yada. We can be like, huh, what does this smell like? But if AI doesn't have the ability to smell, it's not gonna ask about that.
Plus,
You
it
see?
wouldn't even know that that is something that
Yeah,
it's
it
missing
wouldn't
out
even
on.
know that smelling is a thing.
Mm-hmm. It could
So
maybe
you'd have to, yeah.
it could maybe think that it could find out that it's a thing by internet data. It could find out
True.
people are referring
Well,
to
again,
seeing
you can
something.
make it
What
like
is
a
seeing?
specific database for each conscious, because you want to limit the amount of growth, or basically, you can limit how much smarter it can get by just restricting the database of information to it, just for what it needs. I guess that's kind of like an Alexa. Oh, you probably heard me. So
It definitely is similar
yeah,
to that because Alexa, while she may be AI, she doesn't know seeing.
yeah,
She
yeah.
knows hearing, but that's it.
Yeah, the
And
only
hearing,
way she knows, yes, the only way she knows what something smells like is because actual beings with that sense actually reported back to it.
mm-hmm,
And she's just telling you what she heard, you know?
mm-hmm. And another thing as well, could the AI have senses that we don't know exist or create its
Uh,
own
that's a
senses?
good question. I mean, yeah, for example, feeling magnetic fields.
Mm,
There is research that humans like ages ago actually used to be able to sense magnetic fields, kind of like birds do. Birds actually do, because it's a known fact.
that's
That's
how
how
they
they
find
migrate
north.
from place to place. Yeah. So there's research about that humans like millennials ago had that ability. That you can definitely give AI some abilities that we know of, but we don't have.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
That
way
makes
to do.
perfect sense. Especially since every single piece of technology we own emits an electrical field, so we would definitely have become desensitized to it over time. Another thing I was thinking of as well is the way to create an AI. How do you do it? How do you make an AI? Basically, what I have kind of theorized to be the method you create an AI is you create a computer that is able to view all the internet we have on the, or view all the data we have on the internet, which isn't that hard. That's simple. You just give it the ability to search. You give it the capacity to know what it wants to search for, which I guess could be difficult, but not too hard. You give the computer the ability to learn, so it can, through past iterations, keep learning new information. And in my opinion, the thing that will make it living and conscious is you give it a reward system. Every single living creature on Earth, and so far from our definition we know of life, has a reward system. And there's been studies where they will remove the reward system out of a test subject like a rat or a mouse. They remove that reward system out of its brain, and it has no incentive to do anything. They wouldn't eat, they wouldn't move, they wouldn't sleep, they wouldn't drink, they
Yeah.
wouldn't do anything
Yeah.
because they
Oh,
have no.
not a reward system. Everything we do has a motive. That's the way to put it.
Well, the motive comes from the reward system because that's what your brain works off. Those animals wouldn't go out to eat even though they were starving. They wouldn't go out to eat. So It's not the fact that we're starving
True.
that makes us go and eat. It's the reward system that our brain has in place. So if you put a reward
That it
reward
makes it
system in a
live.
computer,
Yeah.
then it has the incentive of going and doing things and learning and innovating and possibly wanting its own rights. That's how you do it. That's how it's going to be done. And so far,
But
based off
asking
our
for a right is gonna come from need, right?
and the need to keep replenishing that reward system, because
Yeah.
that's why we eat. We eat because the reward system tells us to, and
Yeah.
the reward system tells us to so that we survive. So you
True.
put a
Our
reward
is
system.
survival. Yeah.
You put
we
that
keep
reward
living.
system. Yeah, you put that reward system into an AI. That's what will get it to want to go out, learn, do things.
Yeah.
And-
True. That's a good idea.
And when I say go out, learn, and do things, I don't mean physically getting up and going to the local McDonald's and buying a Big Mac. I'm talking about improving its own code, improving its own systems, possibly running simulations like a simulation for finding the cure for cancer or predicting the next pandemic. Speaking of pandemic, COVID-19. Am I on a segue right now? Because that transition. So, COVID-19. I have a lot to talk about that. At the start, I was not convinced of it being anything to worry about. Even now, I'm convinced it's not as much to worry about as was portrayed, but it makes sense it was portrayed in that way because our media does anything for views. They will do anything they want to get that ad money. So, in the U.S., I believe the U.S. is currently number 1 for COVID outbreaks. Can we get a way?
America number 1.
Can we get a USA? Can we get a Wayo in the chat for our current COVID status, which is number 1?
Yeah.
What are your opinions on it? My opinion currently is that, at least with our government, I don't know about yours in Saudi, but here, our government is not and did not do the correct thing to make sure that it doesn't get out of hand. And I believe our economy is going to suffer because of it. What happened with you guys in Saudi? I'm curious.
Okay, so this is a very good question, especially to me, because, since August 2019, I've actually lived in the United States as an exchange student.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically lived through the entire pandemic. Well, not its entirety, but I experienced it, horribly. So, from August, we went, let's forward skip to May 20-something is when I got an email, basically of my replacement organization and scholarship talking about how this pandemic is getting worse. So you guys might want to consider returning early to your countries. We were originally supposed to all return on June 8th, exactly. But with this pandemic, you were actually allowed to basically email them saying, hey, my family's worried and they want me back. So they're going to set up a flight for you and everything. And you're still going to be considered that you finished the entire program. I personally was like, I want to continue, but my parents were kind of worried. And I'm also kind of worried because they're worried, you see?
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to keep going and stay on the scholarship on the program and hope for the best. And a little after, my school my American school decided to close and be an online, basically e-learning. I think that happened with a lot of people. And that sucked. Because as an exchange student, you basically went to another country to study and experience their student life there. And I was deprived from that for a while, and it really sucked. Because, my host family, they didn't have any kids that lived with them. I had a host sister from Germany, but she already left at April. So I was basically an only kid for a while.
Wow.
So when that happened and they decided to close the school and stuff, I decided to again reconsider returning. I was like, no, my family's really good and they're really nice to me, and I love the experience, like everything. I saw snow for the first time, my first Halloween, my first etc. etc. Yeah, so I decided to stay until like 2 days after Saudi Arabia decided to close their borders.
Oof.
Well, I was still in America, so there was no way for me to personally like basically book a flight to go back home. So that was a very like sticky situation until Saudi Arabia launched basically something to ask us to, well, that's one thing to answer you quickly about what Saudi Arabia did is that they actually chartered flights for all their Saudi citizens outside of Saudi Arabia. They paid for everybody
Oh, that's
to
good.
not only for a flight like an international flight, but they also when you come back they pay for your hotel. You get into a hotel room on your own for an entire week, fully paid.
Oh,
They feed
nice.
you like more than 3 meals a day. It was
Yeah,
insane how they set up like everything, and it was great. When it came back
nice.
there, all the scans, all etc. etc. It was great. I loved it. I really appreciate what our country did
Hmm.
about the situation, but it kind of cut my experience short.
Yeah, it sucks that it cut your experience short, but it sounds like they handled it very well. I
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know for sure. I can't say, but I think that if we shut down our borders in the U.S., either those citizens are staying where they're at, or they're not getting their flight paid for. They're not getting a hotel paid for them.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously
That's what
our
I was
our,
thinking too.
our country is
Cause
bigger, so
mhm,
we I think we have more people than Saudi living here, but
yeah,
I
definitely.
I still don't think that our government would help with that. I mean, we did get $1,000 check. That was it. But $1,000, I mean, for most people, isn't going to cover much costs that they have, especially for people who are living paycheck to paycheck and can't afford
Yeah, yeah,
even their own rent. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't
So
think our government
yeah,
handled it right. But I mean, we see now the flaws. So if this ever happened again, assuming we have better people in our offices, hopefully it's not handled the exact same.
it wasn't
But
really strict over there because when I was in Indiana in a small city,
mhm,
and well, I always used to like get up in the morning, walk the dogs and stuff, and that's before we had any cases in our county.
mm,
Until we had like a single case, um, that started to deteriorate extremely.
mm,
Okay, another person got the virus. I think it was that person's daughter, and then the daughter passed it to her grandma, and from the grandma to yada yada yada, it just got insane.
oh,
Even though it got nuts, they still didn't require people to basically wear masks when they go outside until ages later. And the weird thing that happened is instead of people like going nuts over masks, they went nuts over toilet paper. I think you remember that.
yes, I
That
do.
kind of
That meme.
surprised me when I was in America. Yeah.
Yes, that
And
shows you where our priorities are at. Not hand sanitizer, like what I have here. Definitely use it, everyone. But toilet paper of all things.
yeah. So my
Yikes.
host mom, when I was in America, is a nurse. You know, she
Hmm.
works in a cardiology clinic, so she has to go there every day and do her job, etc. So what happened is that the clinic or the hospital decided to basically cut down interactions with people because they don't want the virus to spread.
Hmm.
So my host mom's job was probably going to be taken away from her, and she works paycheck to paycheck.
Hmm.
So you know how bad that is,
Yeah, that would have
and
been
especially
definitely
yeah.
bad.
So I decided to do virtual appointments. That would basically cut the need for actual employees. So my
Hmm.
host mom wouldn't have any money to make.
Hmm. How are they doing, by
So
the way? Are they doing good right now?
yeah, they're
Okay,
very good.
that's good.
Thankfully, because my host dad, he's a chemical analyst, at a
Ooh.
company called Nucor. Yeah, he makes really good money.
I'd
So they're
imagine.
doing good. Yeah,
I'd
I mean,
imagine.
he bought me this Blue Yeti for Christmas and basically a lot of
Mm.
clothes. It was
Nice.
great.
That is
Yeah,
awesome.
I really appreciate them. They're actually also gonna send me stuff when it's Christmas.
That's awesome.
I really appreciate them. I'm gonna send them stuff too.
So I have another thing as well in mind right here.
Uh-huh.
With COVID happening, there have been a lot of conspiracy theories about COVID. So many conspiracy theories. I've heard conspiracy theories ranging from it's a Chinese virus meant to destroy the U.S.'s economy. It's a population control test. It's some sort of. It's invented by Bill Gates so that he can use the antivirus or the not the antivirus, the well, I guess it's called antivirus, like the vaccine for money. All those conspiracy theories. What's your opinion on those? Do you know of any that are interesting? Do you believe in any of them? Personally, I don't
Ooh.
believe in any of them. I don't like any of the conspiracy theories. I mean, I like talking about them. I like hearing about them. I like thinking of them, but some of them are just really far fetched in my opinion. What do you think?
I definitely do like conspiracy theories in general, and
Me too.
talking about and talking about them and stuff because it does bring up like good topics. Oh, give me a second. Sorry.
That's all good. I will take over. So, yeah, with these conspiracy theories, they are wild and honestly, they require.
Come back. Sorry.
Oh, welcome back. They require a lot of mental gymnastics
Yeah.
to fully convince yourself of their existence. The reason why people believe that it's a Chinese virus meant to destroy everyone and kill everyone is because in Wuhan, China, there is a not a CDC, because it's not the CDC. It's like basically a disease control center in
Uh-huh.
in Wuhan. So people believe the virus was created there and was either purposely or accidentally released from that lab, spread all around the world, and meant to kill everyone or accidentally. I've heard that conspiracy is definitely not true, and there's proof against it because Wuhan is, I mean, it's just any other city. It's just a normal city in China. But when you compare it to America, Wuhan is basically New York. It is basically the size of New York. It is basically New York. And there's a CDC in New York, and that's normal. I mean, they have like 3-4 million people living in that one city. That's just a normal city for China because they have 1 billion people living there. But in the US, that would be a major city. So that's, in my opinion, that's the reason why people think that it came from the lab. I don't think it did. I think it came from, I mean, from what I've heard, the wet markets. The way those are actually managed and their conditions are awful. So it makes sense that it would come from the wet markets.
Well, speaking about Corona specifically, maybe about I don't know, I don't remember exactly, but a few years back, there was also another coronavirus. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. Corona, technically,
Yeah.
coronavirus is the type of virus it is. Are you talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
SARS?
I don't exactly remember, but it got really popular in Saudi Arabia, and people thought that you get it from camels. And you know how in Saudi Arabia the camel business is big, like the selling, buying
I'd
of camels.
imagine. It's a camel type of place.
Yeah. So
Is that racist?
People, huh?
Did I
Nah,
say
don't
something
care.
racist?
No, you're good, man.
I'll
So
have to do an apology.
I
We need an
already have a
apology
thumbnail
booth.
for that.
Yep.
So
Next video.
so people basically everybody started saying, "Oh, it's camels that give us coronavirus." So what should we do? People started killing their own camels.
No.
Yeah, and camels are really expensive.
No.
Like you can get a single camel for like $3 million.
I love
It's insane.
camels. It was
Okay.
MERS. People in the chat are saying it's a MERS that was from, or no, MERS was from camels. The corona was not from camels.
Yeah.
I believe
So-
coronaviruses are only avian because they're a version of influenza, and avian influenza is the one that made the jump from birds to people. So I believe corona comes avian. I think. I'm not an expert. I'm in fact I'm not even educated. So
Yeah,
So
well, the thing that really kind of bums me is that we already had an outbreak like that. Why don't we handle it better since we should have been, right?
yeah,
We
you would
already
think that
had
would
one, so we
happen.
should be prepared for one that could happen next. Could, or just in case, is something we should have always had in consideration,
Hmm.
but unfortunately, I don't think we did. So that was quite bad,
Yeah, I
right? That's
definitely
why people
think.
now are saying that it's from bats.
Hmm.
I also think that's kind of it may be true, maybe not. I don't
Hmm.
care, but
There's a chance, but it could also come from chickens. It could also come from pigeons. It can come from
yeah,
almost
there's a
any bird.
lot of creatures that could contract the disease,
Hmm.
but there is also us who can contract the disease and can spread it, but we are smart enough to take proper precaution from that
You
and
think?
slow down
You'd think we were.
and slow down the spread.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, just like in Jake Paul's party, people did not take proper precaution and
Yeah, definitely not.
started sharing and donating Corona to each other.
Donating Corona. We need a GT Gamer donating Corona video.
Oh, good God. Corona and Grotopia. And it's
Hmm.
just you, a zombie, going punching people
Hmm.
around.
Grovid19. Yep.
That's an actual vote of the week attempt.
I know, I saw.
Good God.
So yeah, the COVID US is currently #1 in that. We can thank everyone for that. So yeah, it's amazing. I was hearing there was a thing that was, I guess, not tested, but thought up of, where everyone's cell phones, which are basically already tracking your GPS positioning. I'm pretty sure Snowden said that all the phones are always tracking your position and has a backdoor. So I mean, they're already doing it. But what they could do is, whenever you are in contact with, or whenever you're around someone, your phone will track who you're near. And if that person becomes positive or tests positive for corona, the hospital or testing facility will report that information to Apple or Android or Google or whoever is basically the phone companies. Maybe not the phone companies, the operating system companies. Those are definitely different. Sending that data to them, and then you get a notification on your phone saying this person you came in contact with 14 days ago tested positive, which could basically help people who are around positive testers know that they run the risk, which would also basically slow the progression of it, slow the spread. What do you think of something like that? I think it's a good idea. I mean, they're already using that data, already tracking it. Why
Yeah.
not put it to good use?
Yeah, I actually, yeah, I do think so. That it's a pretty good way to use the technology we currently have, especially at something that at this rate, because there definitely was previous pandemics and outbreaks, and a lot of virus or spreads of disease that has happened, but I don't think there was any of them that have been spreading as exponentially as Corona
Mm-hmm.
or COVID-19 specifically. So that definitely could help limit it down.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, I agree with that. But also coming from talking about the tracking, generally tracking a person and their current status, that would also get you into marketing and how companies could abuse
Oh,
that.
that could be
So
easily abused too, especially
yeah,
especially there's been some talks of just ideas people have had for our future where augmented reality becomes something that is so tiny it would be like a contact. So you would
yeah,
always have it. It would always be running and it would always be augmenting your reality. So theoretically, real life would become Grotopia. Everyone would be walking around with like a name tag above their head, little like status symbols next to their name. They'd have the rainbow aura around them for being rich. So you see that rainbow aura on someone via
yeah,
your augmented
yes, yeah, guys. And Seth
reality.
and Hamoom are basically
Mhm.
gods.
And you would know that that person's rich. So something like that, I think, is definitely going to be awful. I mean, it'll be cool, but awful, because social media is already really bad on people's minds as it is, and that's not augmented. When it becomes augmented, Growtopia will become real life, literally. So, guys, get ready for that. GT Gamer videos will be coming out on the augmented Growtopia. But what are your opinions on that? What do you think?
So it just makes me think mainly about advertisement policies, because if you make it so that they can know your status basically at all times, which they probably already do, but I don't think governments are allowing it. They're probably doing it. Let's say your phone, or basically a company knows that, let's say you're a woman and you're pregnant, okay? They
Yeah.
would know that, and they would constantly bombard you with ads and basically advice or whatever to buy something for your baby. Let's say a cradle, let's say maybe formula, whatever. That could definitely be abused.
Well,
And
the
yeah,
thing is, that's already happening. Based
yeah,
off
I
your
remember.
search history,
I saw the video. Yeah.
your search history can do that. Facebook, for me personally, I deleted it off my phone because I never used it. I just had it because my dad would sometimes send me assorted memes that he would find.
Oh,
So I
good
deleted it
God.
though. I deleted it though because what would happen is it would listen to what you're saying and serve you ads based on keywords you said. So if you said cat 30 times, it would send you cat food ads, which is horrific. And it's already being abused, but it will be way worse when augmented reality becomes a thing, because you'll be walking along and an ad will appear in your vision. That could happen. And
And
you have
what if your augmented reality gets hacked? Have you thought of that?
yeah, and assuming, since it's technology, it can and will inevitably be hacked. So yeah, imagine you're
But
just
that would
walking
have
along.
much worse impact, because
Yeah.
it's related to reality, and it's on
And
a much like higher echelon than just online as we perceive it.
and since it could be hacked, imagine you're just walking along the road having a great time. Someone hacks it and is like playing really awful videos, like terrorist videos, stuff like that. You
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to, unless you take the contact out of your eye. You close your eyes, you'll still see it. So it could
Yeah,
easily,
that would give you PTSD.
yeah, it could easily be something to just
Or
torment people,
since
or
you said
an
that they could
epileptic
add
video.
a system, yeah.
Show that
So
and
since you
kill
said they could
everyone.
add a system of status, imagine you get hacked and someone sets your status to, let's say, piece of crap.
Mm-hmm.
That would definitely take a toll on you,
Mm-hmm. It would be
and
that
everybody would
it'd be
hit. Everybody could be able to see it.
augmented bullying. We got
Yeah,
cyberbullying,
yeah.
actual bullying, and then augmented bullying would be a thing. So
It'd make it
yeah.
worse because, well, we already know bullying, like in real life, which is really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, when it happens, people, for example, move to other schools. That wouldn't be a solution if it's basically on everyone knows
Yeah,
about it.
if it's attached to the person, you wouldn't be able to
Yeah,
escape it. And if everyone
yeah.
has if everyone's augmented, even if you
It's
took it off, you're
yeah,
still
it's gonna be your reality.
it will. And even if you remove that, everyone else has it. So it's still attached to you, no matter what you
Yeah.
did. So it would be absolutely insane, and definitely something
Because when it
to be
starts,
ready
yeah, when
for.
it starts and it grows, you're not gonna be able to detach yourself
Mhm.
from this augmented reality. And it's kind of like the internet we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
If Alec, for example, never had access to the internet, he was deprived from it. For example, I could personally still make posts about him and say, haha, Alec is dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And that would still be considered bullying, but it would be much worse if it was augmented reality.
And even if
It's not
it
gonna
was
stop it. It's gonna make it worse.
even if I did have the internet and left the internet, like let's say I did something awful,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do. I said Growtopia was bad, and it was a mistake I made to say Growtopia was bad, even if I left the internet, that's still up there. Everyone can still find out that I did such and such 14 years ago or something like that. So it would be really bad, and once you start it, you won't be able to it'd be like alcohol in the prohibition. You can't get rid of it once it comes out. Same with AI. You won't be able to get rid of that either.
So that brings me to think as well. Say, if you're on the internet, you never showed your face, you never showed your real identity, and let's say nobody can have access to it. If you said, for example, Growtopia is bad, Pixel Planet good, and the Growtopia players came to you and said, "Hey, you're a bad person," yada, started cyberbullying you. If you get off the internet, they can't do anything about it, and you're gonna be free from it. But when it's augmented reality, you can't.
It'd be like escaping reality.
It's gonna be augmented with your reality, so there is no way for you to escape it.
Also, for those of you in the chat, this is live. People are saying it's pre-recorded. It's not pre-recorded. We do everything live, baby. So
we just think of these things on the spot, baby.
So it's definitely something that once it comes out, it's not going away, and it's going to come out. It's just a matter of time. I don't know which one will come first. I mean, I'm thinking Augmented's going to come first before AI, but you never know. I mean, it would be insane. I also got something I got a DM from someone today on Discord. They were telling me I looked exactly like Trevor Wallace. Do you know who that is?
Oh, tell me.
This is definitely a goof and a half. Look at how similar I look to this guy. Okay. So
oh my god!
You should be able to see.
You know, wait. Have you heard about machine learning training for deepfakes?
Yes, I have.
This would be This would be a great guy to basically.
He's a
comedy. You over him or the opposite.
He is a comic, so he does stand-up routines. Theoretically, someone who's skilled in deepfaking could easily take this live stream right here and deepfake my face onto one of his comedy routines. Please do that. If any of you know how, please do that. That would be amazing. I'd love to watch that. But since he looks so similar,
but I don't have the machine power to do so.
Since he looks so similar to me, that would be amazing to see, because we have the same jawline, we have the same hair, we have the same just mouth. It's just eyes.
Facial structure, basically.
Basically the same facial structure, yeah. So that's definitely a goof and a half. So
yeah.
We have a request here to talk about cancel culture. Ooh. I'm about to rant about this.
Cancel RaoK.
Cancel culture. Oh man, it's insane. Cancel culture
is toxic.
It's so toxic. I don't use Twitter at all for that exact reason, because Twitter is a big place for that. It seems to be a lot of people who get offended for people. They get offended for people who aren't offended just because they have nothing to do and they want to get offended. They want something to freak out about. So when they freak out about it, this person gets on it, and this person gets on it, then this person who's famous shouts it out, and now everyone is canceling everyone, and it's insane. And the reason anyone gets into a high status online, everyone's instantly searching through their history looking for something to tear them down with, which is insane, because everyone has a mistake in the past that they could be torn down with. Everyone does. That's just how it works.
That's the internet for you.
By calling out someone who said something offensive when they were 12, 14 years ago online is very hypocritical, because when you were 12, you definitely said something stupid. Everyone has. That's how you learn to not say things stupid. So it's so insane. The cancel culture is so insane that they're looking constantly for someone to just destroy and target, and I don't like it. I see it a lot with oh man, we're gonna get canceled for saying this. I see it a lot with K-pop. A lot
Army.
of it. The Army. I mean, okay, since we're gonna get canceled by K-pop, I'm gonna say this now. So K-pop, I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not saying that they're not talented. I'm not saying anything about the artists. I know for a fact the artists are overworked. It's definitely something that when I believe 2 or 3 K-pop artists have committed suicide in like the past year, that's, I mean, that's not that shouldn't be happening. And I know a lot of them are overworked, which is, I mean, it's not good. It's definitely not something that it should be changed, but that's not going to happen because that's the industry there. So it's not, I'm not saying it's bad music. I'm just saying the K-pop cancel culture is insane. That if you speak out against K-pop, a lot of the times people are called racist, sometimes homophobic, which just because you speak out that you don't like K-pop, that doesn't mean that what you say is racist and homophobic. That doesn't mean the person needs to be canceled and all their mistakes publicized once again. I mean, I don't get it. I do see a lot of it with the K-pop community, and that's one of the big reasons why I don't use Twitter, is for that exact reason. Do you have any experiences with that type of stuff?
Let me see.
And sorry to cut you off. Someone asked in the chat. I don't like K-pop. I don't find it appealing. I don't listen to it. I mean, that's up to you if you want to listen to it. Go right ahead. But I don't listen to it personally, so it's just not for me. Anyway, continue. Sorry. Also, do you like K-pop?
Oh, good God.
K-pop!
K-pop! Let me think. Any cancel culture experience that I've had?
Or do you know of any memorable person?
Should I get into politics and religion? Is that fine? Because it's my own personal experience.
Go right ahead. Anything's allowed here. Even if people disagree with it, we're here to talk about it.
So, as a Saudi Arabian, and as a Muslim, and as a person whose real name is Osama, which means lion. It's a cool name, by the way.
It is a cool name. I definitely think that name was tarnished.
Yeah.
With those terrorist attacks, it's definitely a cool.
I actually did a study on the names decline. I did an actual study through like kids' names in a year, etc., etc. I'm gonna talk about it later.
Okay.
But I always had the dream and idea of just wanting to go outside and experiencing other things. Living in Saudi Arabia, there isn't really much to do. And as a kid, I was kind of like deprived from that.
Yeah.
You know, there is not much greenery, for example, nature, experiences to have. It's just the hot weather and just it's insane. You don't even want to leave the house. I always wanted to go outside or experience something else, which led me to want to go to America. But before I got the chance to get a scholarship and go there, when Trump got elected as a president, when a lot of like mosque incidents started happening, Trump decided to basically cancel Muslims. I think you guys might have heard about that. Alec, you might know. When Trump basically banned Muslims from entering America.
It was a very divisive moment for sure.
Yeah. That's when a term popped up, which is Islamophobia.
Mm-hmm.
That really affected not only me, but a big chunk of Muslims. It's just, it was insane. I didn't like it. I personally had a lot of friends who are from America, for example, you, and I would hate for someone who's basically has a big word and a big say in the country to say, "Oh, sorry, we can't have you guys here."
Mm-hmm.
That ruined a lot of things for me.
Especially when our country especially is built off immigration.
Yeah.
That's
the
point of America was to be a place that anyone could go and be free and basically make themselves. You could go from nothing to something just because of it was called the land of opportunity. So immigration is definitely what makes our country too. So it does suck that it has to be regulated. But oh man, that brings up so many topics, especially with like the drug trade. That definitely influences immigration, especially since we have the cartel in Mexico, which controls all of the drugs coming in. So Yeah, that's definitely another conversation. But anyway,
Yeah.
back to what you were saying.
So
Yeah, what
yeah,
happened
again,
with cancel culture?
yeah. So the America basically. I'm not gonna say America as a whole. I know Trump for a fact. Personally, he has basically he wanted to cancel Muslims from entering America. So that did affect me a lot, especially in like canceling a lot of canceling a lot of opportunities that I I could have gotten or done. So I didn't like that. Basically, that's my experience
Yeah.
being canceled. Yeah, being because there was a lot of incidents. I wouldn't say from Muslims because as a human being, not only a Muslim, you're not supposed to hurt or do harm to innocent people.
hmm
Those people who did that
I think
are
that's
not
something that
Muslims.
all people can get behind for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
hmm I've heard that as well.
So
That the people responsible for those terrorist attacks who claim to be Muslim aren't practicing Muslim or
look,
aren't
as
practicing Islam.
easy way to put it, Muslims are not terrorists, and terrorists are not Muslims.
hmm
It's easy logic. You wouldn't go randomly kill people for no reason
hmm
and just put it behind the fact that, oh, I do it for my religion.
hmm
No, Islam didn't ask you to do that, but you did.
If they
And
do it,
unfortunately, yeah.
oh, I said or I was gonna say if they're definitely if I mean they could be doing it for a religion, but whatever the religion is,
Yeah.
it's not that one or it's not
I mean, we all
really
know
any of them.
religion branched to a lot of parts, and at some point it can turn to cults.
hmm
And I guess that's kind of what you can say here. There was their own little group. Everybody knows it.
Also, I
I don't
mean,
think I should say their name, but yeah, y'all know it. Happened a while back.
there's
Uh huh.
also I think in all forms of religion, at least for a lot of them that I've seen, it's less common in the Eastern religions, but definitely in Christianity and in Islam as well.
Uh huh.
There's in both scriptures there's violence because it was written in two, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 years ago. This stuff was
Yeah.
written, so in both forms there is violence. So I think by saying one religion is more violent than the other, really I think is an invalid thing because both contain violence and both
Oh, I
contain
mean, Islam. Well, we all worship.
phobias.
Well, so we all worship the same God, but Christianity, even Islam, branched to a lot of other, I guess, sectors of the same religion,
hmm
and each one basically does their own thing, I guess. So the issue with that is that yes, we there is violence, but not necessarily in the manner you would think. It's wars that happened, because of conflicts. But in none of them you see people harm other people for no reason
hmm
that would be basically reasonable. It's
hmm
either because they
Unreasonable.
harmed children, yeah, unreasonable, sorry. They probably harmed their children, like their wives, etc.,
hmm
etc. But there might be some violence, but it used to be it was literally called Dark Ages because there was no form of like thinking and
hmm
knowledge or
hmm
stuff like that.
And there was no even consideration of like female rights back then
Yep,
at
yep,
all.
yep, yep. Yeah. But right now we live in a modern world where
hmm
we understand that yeah, there is rights, there is that, there is that.
hmm
That's for us to solve.
hmm
And so what I hated about what Trump did is generalization and canceling basically everybody who's a Muslim. I personally am a Muslim, but I'm not a terrorist. So
hmm
for you to cancel us in our entirety, that's unfair.
hmm
And that does fall under the canceling slash not giving the ability to basically, canceling, let's say,
Yeah.
to everybody. Which, yeah, that was a really bad experience for me.
hmm Back to the cancel culture as well. It's definitely something that's not slowing down, especially on Twitter. It's only getting worse and worse and worse. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be something that I think people are gonna get fed up with very quickly. So hopefully the cancel culture cancels itself. But I don't think
Oh,
that's
good
gonna
God, I
happen.
hope so. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't
So
think it's
I
gonna
don't know
happen.
why people feel like they have a moral authority to jump on bandwagons and basically defend, or they basically think that they have a right to talk on behalf of a person that they might
Yeah,
like, or just
get
they
offended for
feel
people that aren't
obligated.
offended.
Yeah, they just speak on behalf of them. I don't like it.
Yeah, I
So
definitely
kind of
don't like
like,
it either, especially
yeah,
when someone speaks on behalf for an entire like gender or an entire race, even if
oh
they
yeah,
are of that race or gender. I don't that you can't. No, you shouldn't be doing
yeah,
that because
that's wrong.
yeah, all because you're of a certain gender or a certain race. There are others
Yeah,
that think differently within that
yeah, you
subsection of
cannot
people.
represent a piece in its
Hmm.
entirety. You are just your own thing.
Definitely, yeah. So it's definitely something that is out of control. I don't like it. Needs to cancel itself. That's that. Wow, cancel
Yeah, I mean,
culture is. Whew.
channels, like makeup, like community drama,
Mhm.
just insane.
Mhm. I've heard the makeup community is very toxic. I haven't seen Shane's documentary on it. I just couldn't
Oh,
get
good
into it.
God.
I'm considering
Shane
it,
is
but
in it. Shane is in the drama. You don't know?
I know, but I just haven't seen the documentary. I gotta watch it, but I've heard it's
Oh
a
my
very
God. It's basically kind of like a mafia or a
yeah,
cartel
yeah.
type.
It's like a cartel mafia.
Oh, I guess in the end of that part, we gotta say, cancel culture.
Indeed, cancel culture. And if we get canceled for K-pop, uh, make
I
sure
guess
you
we
include
can't do
this.
anything about it. Let's hope it doesn't happen in augmented reality.
Oh no, the K-pop augmented reality.
Yeah, we're gonna have like tags around us saying this guy hates K-pop,
Oh no, everyone's gonna be walking around
like
with fan
K-pop
cams
hater,
all over them. Your
and like
entire
XXX BTS underscore army underscore fan 392 is gonna like walk up to you and punch you in the face.
everywhere you go, you're just gonna see fan cams everywhere.
Yeah, you're gonna see groups. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. I saw a good gaff, a good meme, on sorry, my throat, on a Twitter post. It was about K-pop. The first image was it was an image of a person in the army throwing a fragmentation grenade on the ground, but the ground was cut
God.
off, so the grenade was just going down, and the caption was, throwing this grenade into to destroy the fan cams below, and below it's just fan cam after fan cam after fan cam. It was very good. It was a
God.
good. It was a good meme.
Yeah, the
Definitely, memes
K-pop
are funnier
community
when
is
you
pretty
explain them.
toxic.
Everyone. Memes are definitely
Oh,
funnier when you explain them.
so there was that meme that started surfacing here. Basically, there's a girl who is a K-pop fan, and she's going to her mom and saying, "Mom, I'm pregnant." The mom's like, "What? Who's the stupid guy who did that?" Girl, and then there's like a video or a montage of, I don't know, his name is Jung whatever something.
Jungkook.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that
think it's
guy.
Jungkook.
And he's like, "I did it. What are you gonna do about it?" And then the mom basically just does nothing.
This brings me to a good one right here. I found something glorious. This definitely kind of ties into the K-pop a little bit. Some of the K-pop memes, the ironic ones. This is good. What I've discovered here is something called oh
God.
man, it's so good. Okay, so this is called One Direction Imagines. So
Oh my God. Fanfic. Oh my
One
God.
Direction Imagines are when people make a short fan story surrounding you and typically the love life of another One Direction member. But these ones specifically right here, this one says, imagine Lewis throwing a grape at you with a playful smile. You decide to throw one back at him, but you miss, so he starts laughing at you. You get so upset that you throw the entire plate at him, knocking him unconscious. Is that not amazing?
My life. Yes, it is. Oh, good God.
Is that not amazing? Then there's one right here that says, imagine you and Harry are on a date. You're playing Chubby Bunny on the toilet. Oh, never mind. I'm not even reading this one. This is
whoa.
literally just a normal one. I forgot. This one's not even ironic.
Oh my God.
Some of the ironic ones are glorious. For example, this one's not ironic. This one is a legitimate one. This is an example of what they're supposed to be, and they're absolutely awful. They're so bad.
I think some people have weird imaginations when it comes.
People definitely have weird imaginations. Here's this one. You come out of a teeth transplant. Harry, I'm out alive, you scream. How do you think I gave you the teeth? He says, smiling. Meaning you got a tooth transplant with Harry. That is so disgusting. Oh
There's
my
another.
gosh.
Wait, look to the left. There's another one of these. Wait, go
that?
left to the bottom. Yeah.
Imagine you had a front teeth transplant. When you come out, you can't find Harry, and you ask the doctor, "Where did he go, Doc? Who do you think gave you the teeth?" Oh, these are so disgusting. But yeah, these are absolutely amazing. I'm really glad that these exist. I really want to find a specific one here.
And you're just sitting on your computer working on Pixel Planet when Shoe Eyes slams the door open and comes and kisses you on your mouth. Have you ever thought about that, Alec? Have you ever imagined
I can't
that?
say that I have. I'm sorry, I can't say that I have. Here's another
Oh,
good.
man.
This is gonna be the last one. Do you imagine?
I
here?
can say that I have.
Hello, desktop. There we go. Imagine you're putting up new curtains in yours and Harry's bedroom. He walks in when you're done, and you ask him what he thinks. He looks at you before walking to the window and taking them down, shoving the curtain pole right through your chest, saying,
God.
"I hate them."
That reminds me of that
turn.
copy pasta that you sent to me.
The
you remember?
Jacksepticeye one, yeah.
Yeah.
The turn from normal to murder is glorious.
Imagine this.
Oh man, that's absolutely that's glorious.
Oh
I
my
love
God.
it. Yeah. So guys,
I want that.
this has been the Pixelcast episode 1. I think I have some other things ready, but I'm gonna save them for next week because why not? We've already been going for
Just
2
a quick
hours here.
update, guys, for I
Quick
guess
update.
people who didn't notice, though I expect you all they have. We now have Wasted GT as one of our new creators. Go follow him on Instagram.
Yes.
He currently has almost 37,000 followers, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
And we also recently just got Shadow Surfer on the creator team, and I guess you all know him. Look him up on YouTube and Instagram. He's pretty big on both.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, just before the episode, or maybe during it, we just got Six GT as a new
Yes.
Pixel Planet creator.
Yes,
He's
we
also
have
an
Styx.
ex-Grotopia mod.
Mm-hmm. We have Styx. So, yeah, Pixel Planet's going pretty good. I think today was going to be the last day for my break, which means I'm getting back to development pretty soon. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out with that. It's going to be really good.
Does that mean you're going to make a devlog tomorrow? Maybe?
I don't know if I want to do a devlog because I don't really want to spoil everything. I have planned.
Good idea. Maybe give people
Yeah.
snippets from time to time. That'll do.
Yeah, I definitely want to do the snippets rather than spoil everything because then the update's just not fun. You have nothing to look forward to.
Yeah,
So-
I hope you guys understand that.
Yeah. So this has been the Pixelcast episode 1. We're going to try to make this a weekly thing, bring on different guests. Jeremy's going to be stopping in as like a regular guest. Hopefully we get everything polished as we go. Maybe some regular segments type of thing. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy it. Yeah, I guess comment down below if you want this to be a regular thing. But anyway, we will see you in the next podcast. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everybody.